In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone.
Welcome back. Third and final segment of the Tech Zone. Paul Amadeus Lane. If you missed the first segment, we talked about AI and how everyone's trying to catch up with Google AI. We're talking about Apple. We're talking about Alexa. They're definitely trying to catch up when it comes to that innovation out there and some of the different major changes that's going on in Apple to definitely try to keep up. We also, in the second segment, talked about the challenge of charging multiple devices and how one innovation is helping us to do just so. They're making it so for us. But this third segment right here, I have been looking forward to all show long because it's something personal to me, and I'll tell you why. Medical devices in the medical field has helped me to really survive after my catastrophic accident almost 25 years ago. One of the frustrations that I have with the medical field is when people are not able to get the help that they need because of funding. You go to get a prescription for something, let's say a walker or a wheelchair, and there's just no money to get it, or you have to jump through hoops. That's all due because of wasteful spending. Even when it comes to the pharmaceutical companies. Wouldn't it be nice to have some innovation out there that can help meet the challenge when it comes to this wasteful spending and not being able to use different medicines out there because there's just not enough money to purchase that medicine? Well, my next guest is going to talk about what his company is doing and their innovation to help meet the challenge of wasteful spending and the success that they have had. I'm so happy right now to have on the program the CEO of HSource, John Kupis. John, how are you, my friend?
Awesome, Paul. It's great to be with you. It's an honor to be with you.
Great to be with you, my friend, and the honor is all mine. And I kind of talked about it before I brought you on about HSource and also what you guys accomplishing over there, especially when it comes to wasteful spending, when it comes to medical devices. But I always say the man behind the vision can explain it a lot better than me. So why don't you give the listener and the viewer out there the rundown about yourself and also HSource?
Okay, well, I'm going to give credit to the founder, Murray Walden. Murray Walden was a medical device rep who was out in the field, worked with high-end products and surgeons all over the West and Pacific Northwest. And he would routinely see that a doctor would leave and he'd use some type of high-end product. And they would say, hey, Murray, when you go to hospital XYZ next week, could you see if they could use this? So he did that out of the back of his car for a year or two. He left medical sales, very successful career, cashed out the 401k and built a prototype to begin to exchange these products amongst hospitals. And that's about the time that I was introduced to HSource. And I'm more the suit in the deal, where I was, more the CTO, the CEO. I had done a lot of work with business models, and I had worked at hospitals from the finance accounting perspective. I had been part of the Ernst & Young Lawson practice, and we did a lot of work with their finance departments, their procurement, their human capital management, integrating all the silos of data. So what we did was take the marriage of two people and really come up with a closed marketplace for hospitals and medical facilities to exchange these goods, Paul.
That is so awesome. And I tell you, hearing you tell the story and the vision, it really shows the passion that you and Murray have about the organization at HSource. And you talked about the CTO aspect of it, because I'm about to geek out right now. So before we talk about the marketplace as a whole, how does the marketplace work? What kind of technology did you guys put in there so that we can make sure that the vision that you and Murray have continues to grow and continues to stay on point?
Great question. In our country, Paul, we throw away about 9 billion a year in medical supplies, devices, 4.5 billion, 4.5 in non-controlled pharma. So we had to build a platform that was very scalable and flexible because the needs for medical devices and equipment are expiration dates, lot numbers. For pharmacy, you have different requirements, and for capital equipment, others. So we had to build a very flexible platform that worked like hospitals do, and we had to be able to track all those products. So we do that. We meet the FDA track and trace for the non-controlled pharmaceuticals. We also are able to track and trace where everything went by lot number, by expiration date, and we actually work with FDA recalls. So we basically used open source platform tools. We've worked on it for 2.5 years. The code is 90% ours now. It's very scalable. We use MariaDB, Galera clusters as our database, and it's all open source. And we have a team of 7 people and a full-time DBA so that it's scalable and meets all the regulatory requirements, Paul.
And John, how does staying up with the latest trends when it comes to technology to make sure that the company is on the cutting edge of certain things with ever-changing, evolving world of tech, and making sure that you're implementing things? Because as you create things, there are other ones out there who want to do nefarious things when it comes to these technologies. How do you guys stay on point to make sure that you guys are on the cutting edge of all this tech out there?
Well, it's another good question. We have one person who's really dedicated to just securing what we have, Paul, and that's all they do. And to stay ahead of the game, we're always looking at what are the newest trends. So we're using data visualization tools for our reporting. We're using what they call a lot of ETL, extensible translation languages, to move data around between systems. So it keeps you busy. I am CEO, but also CTO, and I will say I spend 30% of my time just looking at trends and talking with people in the industry, and talking with people that I used to work with in Deloitte and Ernst & Young and other groups, just trusted people around the country. What are they seeing? What are the latest trends? So it's a challenge, Paul.
And who would have thought, John, that we would be in the time, the way technology is now, that we can spend many hours researching trends and seeing how things are going in the tech world. But we are in the Internet of Things, and we're so happy that your company is definitely taking steps to make sure everything is on point. A good friend of mine who's no longer with us, he used to always say, instead of pronouncing the word problem, he would say problem. So, John, what kind of problem, in honor of my friend Jack, does HSource kind of really help out when it comes to the healthcare industry and also wasteful spending? Take us through that again, if you can, please.
Okay. Well, as I said, we throw away at least 9 billion a year, Paul, and that's a lot. That's a big number. It's a conservative number. It's actually more. And we created a marketplace to help hospitals exchange those goods and medical facilities exchange them, instead of those going into a landfill or just not being put to good use. And that is a good feeling. That's really why we originally went into it. Yes, there's an economic opportunity there, but we like to say there are 2 greens. We're green for sustainability, but we're green for recovering costs and helping them reduce their spend on these products. So it's exciting. And when people start to use us, they use us more, Paul, because it feeds on itself. Success feeds on itself.
And John, when it comes to this, why is this so important, especially nowadays in the time that we live in, the way healthcare is, rising healthcare costs? We have many people who need certain devices, but insurance may not cover them because of the wasteful spending that we have out there. So why is it so important right now to have a model such as HSource to really help achieve the objective, to make sure ones are getting these equipments out there and ones are really getting help? Well,
the operating margins in American hospitals the last 3 years have gone on average from 4.2% to 2.2%. The 2 biggest reasons that is number one, the rising cost of healthcare for the labor pool. The hospitals have leaned out labor about as much as they can. The number, it's about 33% of the spend at an average hospital. Supply chain's 31%. The second thing, and very important, we like to say to a hospital, you're never going to be paid more than you are today for what you do because of different ways of bundling the reimbursements, outcome-based reimbursements, but the reimbursement's only going to go down. So the hospitals that are going to be the most successful or in the medical facilities are those that control their costs and work with creative tools like ours to reduce waste and reduce the cost.
And John, when it comes to this reducing of costs, we know that not all healthcare facilities are created equal. You have ones in small town America and then ones in the big metropolis, Los Angeles, and the major cities. How can HSource help the smaller hospitals out there who may not have the resources like the big hospitals like UCLA or any of the major hospitals out there?
Paul, that's another great question and good segue. You know, one of the reasons we started this, if you look, the larger hospitals tend to supply a lot of the inventory. The smaller and medium-sized hospitals that often are hanging by a thread, just low margins or underwater, we're able to provide products to them that they couldn't get and at a price they couldn't get. And let me give an example. There are certain, if you're a rural hospital, a critical access hospital, and the supplier may demand that you buy a case of something, 12 of something. Let's say it's $1,000 each. You know, that's $12,000. You're only going to use 2 that year. Well, we allow them to buy and break that box and only buy the 2 that they need. And that can be the difference in some of these small critical access hospitals between staying open and not. So we're filling an important niche by tying that supply chain together and giving them an alternate path to get these products.
And you bring up a very good point because we know like snake venom is very, very expensive. And
Yes.
we know that ones in small town America, smaller hospitals may really need that when it comes to an emergency situation. So that's where your company steps in to help out.
It is. We've worked in a couple metro areas, Paul, where they used to have like urgent care facilities, they'd have ERs. They may carry this product at multiple facilities and it's very expensive. It can be $25,000 a dose. Well, what if you just carried a couple, but you had a courier within 5 minutes of any of these facilities? You save money, but you're still going to get that. You're going to get what's needed to the patient that needs it in a timely basis. So yes, very important service that we can provide leveraging our platform.
And John, let's say that someone, we have one of the major hospitals here in California, but then there's a hospital, let's say in Florence or Killen, Alabama, that needs to get some equipment and it needs to get it pretty quick. How fast can the equipment get to the facility out there? Is it flown out? Is it FedEx? If you can explain that process to us, if you can, please.
Boy, Paul, I'd like to just say yes. It depends. You can get anything anywhere for any particular price that you're willing to pay, if you understand what I'm saying. But
Absolutely.
generally what happens is for a product, it's like 2 to 3 day, a FedEx, a UPS, DHL, 2 to 3 day, or a priority mail, 2 day, something like that. That's generally the level that people need the product for when you're going across state lines, like you mentioned. If it's a piece of capital equipment, that can be harder because you can have de-installation. We've worked with things like X-ray or MRI. That's more complicated and that takes more time. And again, it's a function of how soon and how much are you willing to pay for that. But we work with the clients, but on a general basis, it's a 2 to 3 day cycle, Paul.
And John, we talked about just how HSource is really helping out. Now, is there anything in particular, like a story with a medical facility that you guys helped out that you would like to share, just how HSource came to the rescue and helped out ones out there?
I'm going to reference a press release that we did. Have to be careful what all we reference, but this one, it feeds to our passion, why we started this in the first place. We did a press release with the Colorado State Hospital Association, and we've recovered over $8 million in costs for different hospitals that are members of the Colorado Hospital Association. That gets me excited. That's in one state, and we've been able to recover that much. And that was over about a 6-month period. So we're very excited about that. And that's a press release we did in February. We're doing that in other states, Paul.
Now, John, I know I'm getting a little older and my hearings get kind of, you said $800 million?
No, sir. I said 8 million. If I said 800, I stretched.
No. $8 million. Wow.
Yep.
I mean, and John, being in the industry, what does that mean? Quantify that, so the listener viewer can understand. $8 million. What can be done with that, with not having that wasteful spending out there?
Paul, a lot of things. It could have been the hospital stayed open. It could have been they didn't get rid of some care, some clinical staff. It could be that they were able to get some new equipment to replace some equipment. It could be that they expanded services in a rural area. It could be they expanded some type of radiology program, or Paul, it could be they were able to do a new treatment program that they wouldn't have had the money for because of the shrinking margins. There are always good uses for that. And, I could talk forever on those, but you're helping them be more efficient so they can clinically help more patients. And that's exciting.
Wow. I'm really blown away by that in a good way. As I'm sure many out there probably had no idea, just how much wasteful spending was out there. We hear about it a lot from different reports, but to hear the numbers and to see the reports that was published is truly mind-boggling. So let's talk about the future. How do you plan to expand in the future? What do we have to look forward to with HSource?
We're excited. We think it's a bright future. We have over 1,000 hospitals under contract. We have over 235 that are very active now. That means they do something, list, buy, sell every few weeks. We're going to double that this year and shoot for 500 by the end of the year to have at 500 active hospitals. We're going to work with other products. We're going to expand our reach into more pharmacy within IDNs, within states. So, Paul, we're excited. It's like I said, success breeds success. We think we'll at least double in size this year.
Yeah, I think you guys are definitely on the right side of history out there, John. Now, before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to articulate out there to the viewer and the listener about HSource? Maybe someone is in the medical industry. Maybe they know the decision makers in different hospitals. Maybe they have noticed the wasteful spending in their facilities. Anything else you'd like to articulate to ones out there?
Well, I would welcome you to reach out. Murray and I are accessible. Our sales team is accessible, but go to hsource.com, look at our videos, look at what we're doing for people. Contact us. We would love to help you. We vet everybody so that we know you're who you say you are. You're working with people that understand your problem, and we want to help. We want to provide a platform for you to be able to reduce your spend and recover costs.
Well, John Kupis, CEO of HSource, it's been amazing talking to you, my friend. Look forward to chatting with you again. And please tell Murray and the team that we appreciate all that you guys are doing over there with HSource. And I'm blown away. $8 million just in Colorado alone. Imagine if we replicate that to the many bigger cities in the states out there, how much money and wasteful spending that we can stop.
We have big plans, Paul. And I want to say again, it was a great blessing being with you, and I really enjoyed my time with you. It's an honor to meet you.
Well, the blessing and the honor is all mine, my friend. And thank you so much. Look forward to chatting with you later on in the year.
Sounds good, Paul. Thank you.
Really enjoyed my conversation with John Kupis, CEO over at HSource. I could talk to John for hours. Great individual. He and his partner and co-founder, Murray, are just doing some amazing things. Mark my word. You can mark this episode down. they are changing the way that medicine and wasteful spending is happening, and you're going to see a big difference because of what they're doing. All right. That is the end of our show. If you missed our announcement in the first and second segment, we will end up with it. Happy to announce a new show in addition to the Tech Zone that will be debuting soon. Because as you know, I cover cover tech and also entertainment. I'd like to introduce you to the new show, Entertainment Zone, with Paul Amadeus Lane. So we'll keep you posted on the air dates and when it will debut. And thank you all for your support. Remember, go connect with me, paulamadeuslane.com. That's how you can connect with me via social media. And you really have to check me out on social media. You'll see me and an Emmy Award-winning actress having a little fun reenacting the scene, so you have to do that. All right. Until next time, take care of yourself. I love you. You have a great day. Take care.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone.